Utility Sports Video today is brought to you by Manscaped, the best company in the world when it comes to men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family's jewels. Manscaped recently launched the ultimate men's hygiene bundle, the Performance Package 4.0. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer just for you from Utility Sports. Use code UTILITY20 for 20% off plus free worldwide shipping at manscaped.com. Again, use code UTILITY20, UTILITY20 at manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping. Does your current hygiene routine leave you with a whole bunch of nicks, cuts, and overall just a hassle? Well, luckily for you, the Performance Package 4.0 has arrived, and wow, is it a game changer. Manscaped sent us this package so we could share how great it is with you, our awesome viewers. Inside this package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker nose and hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, and a free travel bag to hold your goodies. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer is waterproof, has a phenomenal LED light to help you with precise accuracy, and is a 4th generation trimmer which features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin safe technology. Additionally, the Weed Whacker nose and hair trimmer is waterproof and does a really good job keeping your skin safe and protected. The Crop Preserver and ball deodorant plus Crop Reviver toner are game changers when it comes to your hygiene routine. Trust me, you'll never look back and your balls will thank you. Performance Boxer briefs and the travel bag are free gifts on behalf of Manscaped as part of this awesome Performance Package 4.0. I love wearing and rocking all of Manscaped's products, and you should too. Make sure to check them out using code UTILITY20 on manscaped.com. Remember, this is specifically for our viewers here at Utility Sports. A 20% off discount code plus free shipping when you use the code UTILITY20 at manscaped.com. Yes, 20% off plus free worldwide shipping at manscaped.com when you use code UTILITY20. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Super Bowl 56 is upon us. We have the final 2 teams here. We're ready for the Super Bowl. We're going to be bringing you our predictions and pick 'em, just like we have been doing all year long. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a like as well. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Of course, there is a lot of subjectivity when it comes to the NFL. There's a lot of things that maybe you guys are thinking that is a little bit different than us. So we'd love to know your opinions. We really want to put the U in Utility Sports so we can learn what your guys' thoughts are and make this really a collaborative platform. We love our viewers. You guys are absolutely awesome. And now let's get into it here with our postseason pick'em records, Austin. Of course, you mauled me all regular season long. In a shorter sample size, I've been a little bit more competitive. Of course, there's been a ton of upsets that we didn't foresee, and a few things that have thrown a little bit of a wrench into things. We're both sitting at 7-5, Austin. How does it feel to have caught back up in the shortened sample size?
Yeah, and it feels good to be back. I was really panicked about being down a game in that postseason, where it all really matters. So if you are picking for money in anything, please go with Sheldon's picks. He knows how to pick in the postseason. So very clearly follow his picks here. Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, Austin would be the type of guy to say, follow my picks when we have the same record because I know how to pick, which would then mean he also thinks that he knows how to pick. So I would recommend following him. Of course, we're probably going to have a few disagreements ourselves along the way. So let's take a look at the playoff bracket. How did we get here in Super Bowl 56? A lot of great games. This playoffs have been phenomenal. There's been so many things to watch every single week, and we're getting into the nitty gritty here now of Super Bowl 56. We got the best of the AFC versus the best of the NFC this season. And of course, for that Super Bowl, we know who those 2 teams are. The 4-seed Cincinnati Bengals and the 4-seed Los Angeles Rams. It's been a crazy season to get to this point. We're super excited. These are 2 phenomenal teams, 2 really good offensive teams with some star power defensively as well. Austin, how excited are you for this matchup?
Yeah, that's absolutely great. I've been excited for the Bengals all season long. And finally, after talking about the draft and everything related to the Bengals, Jamar Chase has been that X factor for this team. We had talked about it a lot during draft season, so I'm just really excited to watch him, really perform at the highest level.
Yeah, if you guys were part of the channel back when we were mocking Jamar Chase to the Cincinnati Bengals over a year ago, let us know by commenting Jamar Chase Bengals in the comment section. That way we know you've been with us the whole ride. We got a lot of hate for that, and yet here the Bengals are in the Super Bowl with Jamar Chase on their roster. Kind of surprising, but at the end of the day, a phenomenal pickup for them. And now let's move on to the biggest discussion here, I think, throughout this entire video. Of course, Super Bowl 56 is going to be at SoFi Stadium. The Bengals are technically the home team, but of course, this is the home stadium of the Los Angeles Rams. Last year, Super Bowl 55, the Buccaneers won it at Raymond James Stadium at home. How important do you think this will be for the Los Angeles Rams that their game, their Super Bowl matchup, is in SoFi?
Part of it has to do with overall comfortability of just being at home, being able to sleep in your own bed, enjoying that part of it, everything with the locker room. And just, the big thing is, in game, having the fans there. I'm excited to see, what the numbers look like in terms of overall demographics of, who's representing who and what kind of numbers and turnout we're going to have. But overall, it's important to be home, right? I don't think that's end all be all for the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think that they're at a huge disadvantage, considering, where they're at, because we've seen them march into Kansas City and win that game. So to me, this Bengals team is really, really tough, and they honestly have nerves of steel from what we've seen.
Right. I don't think this is a death sentence either for the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow has been playing in huge games. You look back at the national title game, look at that game against the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. He's been in big moments and he's succeeded. So I'm not going to pick the Rams solely based off of where this game is taking place, but I do think it is an important note to factor. And now as we move on here, Austin, your keys to the games for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, looking at it, DJ Reader really having to set the tone. You saw what the San Francisco 49ers were able to do. They were able to almost completely neutralize the run. You saw Cam Akers in and out of the game. Sony Michel was not able to establish a rhythm. So to me, that's super, super important. DJ Reader alone really can take out a run game. He's just that good and wrecks a lot of havoc up the middle. Followed up by Higgins, Boyd, and Mixon. Why do I say these three and not Jamar Chase? Because Jamar Chase is going to be a sole focus for this Rams defense. You know that Jaylen Ramsey will very, very likely be shadowing him all day long, making it a tough matchup. He's going to have to win his one-on-one there, but it's going to come down to the other big three making a huge impact on the game. I think more specifically, Tyler Boyd is actually going to have the best game potentially. Definitely not what people might be expecting. Higgins has been absolutely huge this entire postseason, also the regular season. But more specifically, I'm looking right at you, Tyler Boyd. This one's on you. You got to help take it home. And then finally, protection. Absolutely key for them to protect Joe Burrow. This Rams pass rush is going to be all over him. I am telling you, we are going to see something very, very similar to what happened in Tennessee. Joe Burrow is going to have to somehow overcome that. And we will get to that a little later on in terms of what my prediction is. But now the next thing, we take a look at the keys to the game, for the Rams, really using the run to set up play action. So this is kind of a counter to the whole DJ Reader thing. You really got to get the run game going early, because if you got to sit back and pass against this Cincinnati Bengal team in the postseason, I think Hendrickson is going to make it a long, long day for you. And then I go to the next one, pick the apple. Look right at Eli Apple. Whoever he's on, you got to throw him the ball. I think Eli Apple is a guy that I don't trust in the postseason. He made a couple of plays, but ultimately, at the same time, he is arguably the worst corner on that team. So they're going to have to attack him, really try to exploit some matchups. Have Cooper Kupp, really try to focus there. Whoever is on him, Odell Beckham Jr. has got to step up in a big way as well. And honestly, for them defensively, avoid using the blitz too much. This is going to create a lot of one-on-one matchups with some really, really tough receivers. So I kind of look at it from the scope of, you don't want to see Jamar Chase in a lot of one-on-ones, or even T. Higgins, with how good they are at 50-50 balls. Part of the reason is you don't need to blitz, because you have a pass rush good enough that will beat this Bengals team potentially because the Bengals have not been able to hold up all year long, and I don't really expect that to change, even being on that big stage.
Yeah, I think you made a lot of great points there with your thoughts and keys to the game for both sides here as we transition to my keys to the game for the Cincinnati Bengals. For me, it's got to be establishing the rhythm through the air at the beginning of the game. I know this is a massive stage. I know you've got a second-year quarterback in Joe Burrow. You've got to trust him. Put the ball in his hands. He's your franchise guy. He's the player you took first overall. You didn't draft him to hand the ball to Joe Mixon. You're going to come out of this game, you're going to throw the ball, and you're going to try and take this game by the throat early. That's what you have to do if you're Cincinnati. You've got to trust your playmakers. You've got to trust your franchise guy, Joe Burrow, and I think that's going to be something that we see them look to do in this matchup. When you look back at their Kansas City game, they got down 21-3, partially because they weren't coming out aggressive, throwing the football and really targeting their premier wide receivers. I think that's going to be a different story here. I think they're going to come out, they're going to look for T. Higgins across the middle. They're going to look for Jamar Chase down the field. And I think Tyler Boyd's going to get involved as well. Joe Mixon in the passing game. I feel like you have to throw the ball a lot in this game. You're going to need the pass protection to hold up Austin like you talked about. And then for me, I know the second one seems easy to talk about. That's contain Cooper Kupp. It seems like an obvious point, but so far teams haven't been able to do it. Scored against the Buccaneers, had a good game against the 49ers as well. It's tough to do, but you have to shadow him hard. Add help over the top, try and take him out underneath. A lot of his work is hard, especially when he's motioning across the offense. It's tough to contain him, but that has to be the focal point for this Bengals defense. Any way that you can try and slow him down, that is going to be a win for your defense. And then the other big thing here, and I think it's one of the things that's not getting talked enough about up to this point, is you have to win with 3 or 4 man pressure. They did it at the end of the game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Trey Hendrickson was huge in that, getting home without having to send pressure. Matt Stafford's been great all year long against the blitz. You cannot afford to leave guys like Cooper Kupp one-on-one or Odell Beckham Jr. even at this point, because Matthew Stafford will hurt you in those areas. You have to get home with 3 or 4 man pressures, and you have to be opportunistic in that area. You're going to need some big plays on third down, and they really, really need that in this matchup. And then when I look at the flip side of the coin here with the Los Angeles Rams, the obvious one is get Cooper Kupp involved early. Try and get him the ball on some little screen routes, some little bubble screens. Try and get him the ball motioning across the middle. Try and work him across the middle of the field. There's going to be a few different ways to get him the ball. That's going to be the focal point for them. It has been all year. Nothing changes for this LA Rams offense. Get your best playmaker the ball. I think they're going to do that. I think he's going to find success in this matchup. Then Jaylen Ramsey versus Jamar Chase. Austin, you touched on it a little bit earlier during your keys to the game. For me, Jaylen Ramsey has to take Jamar Chase. He's going to have to travel with him, and he's going to have to severely limit him. It's going to open the Rams up to play a little bit of 10-on-10 football. If Jaylen Ramsey can check Jamar Chase, it helps you shadow the other guys. It helps you try and take away T. Higgins across the middle. It tries to help you limit Tyler Boyd. It helps you limit Joe Mixon in the screen game and little swing routes. And then the other thing is, don't dabble like Dable. Austin, you talked about this as well. Of course, I'm alluding to Brian Dable here, who is infamous for not running the football very often. I think the Rams have to come out and establish that run early. I think they have to try and win at the line of scrimmage. And I think they have to try and set the tone with the run game. I think they want to make this a rather fast-paced game where they can try and put up points and then push the ball down the field. And I think they're going to have to do that by first establishing the run, sinking in some of those guys, because we know how good Jesse Bates can be over the top in coverage. We know what this Bengals defense is capable of, and you can't get one-dimensional against them. So I think it's going to be very, very vital for them to run the football effectively in this one, which leads us here now into our picks. Austin, you went with the Los Angeles Rams. I went with the Cincinnati Bengals. Talk us through your decision.
I'm a huge fan of this Bengals team, but at the end of the day, I ended up opting to go with the Rams. Reason being, I think that pass rush is going to be a little bit too much. They have no answer for Aaron Donald. Also, you look at Von Miller. He's going to win a lot of his one-on-ones on the outside as well. They're going to be able to win without having to blitz that much, just because they're going to generate some of that consistent pressure. Jaylen Ramsey on Jamar Chase is absolutely huge. If they're able to really limit him, you're forcing T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd to really beat you through the air. Not a great matchup that way. However, I think it's really, really tough when you have constant duress on you. They're going to be playing very likely from behind the chains, and honestly, it's an uphill battle. They were really close to potentially losing to Tennessee because of that, and I think very possibly it might not bounce their way this time around. Tough game to pick. It was. I definitely consider the Bengals throughout this process. However, when I kind of look at it analytically speaking and matchup wise, it scares me for this Bengals team.
I definitely understand that. I think you did bring up a lot of great points. I opted for the Bengals because I think it really comes down to the battle of the number 9s. You have Joe Burrow versus Matt Stafford. They have the same number of career playoff wins. And I think Joe Burrow slightly outduels Matt Stafford here. I think that Joe Burrow, when he's been considered the underdog and when this Bengals team has been considered out, and I think a lot of America and I think a lot of the betting places, betting casinos are going to label the Rams as the favorites here. And I think that's a mistake. I think the Bengals are going to really take on that underdog persona and they're going to run with it. They have not been favored in very many of their games this year. A lot of people before the season were claiming they were a 2-15 team, a 3-14 team, a bottom 5 team in the NFL. Once they got to the playoffs, people didn't think they had a chance against Tennessee. People didn't think they had a chance against Kansas City. And I see the same happening now with the Los Angeles Rams. This Bengals team is for real. They're going to come out, and I think they're going to win this game, which brings us into our final score predictions here, Austin. You opted 28-21 Rams, so a 7-point win for Los Angeles. And I went with the flip side here. 7-point win for the Cincinnati Bengals, 35-28. I think there's going to be some good offense in this one. And overall, I am extremely excited about what this game is going to be. I think this could be one of the best Super Bowls we've seen in recent memory. Austin, do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. When you look at both sides of the football, there's a lot of star power basically everywhere, especially offensively. Two teams that can absolutely duke it out. We could even see a bigger shootout than you had projected as well. I mean, we could see scoring well into the 40s, but I can also see kind of more the route that I took, a little bit lower of a scoring game, just considering how these defenses have been playing as well. So it's really, really exciting considering how much star power, considering they are 2 4 seeds as well. This is the first time we hadn't had a top 3 seed in that Super Bowl, I think, ever. So that's something also that's just really awesome and speaks to the overall variation and parity of the league at this point.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of talent in the league, and I think these two teams are really going to be awesome to watch. There's a lot on the stakes here in this Super Bowl 56 matchup. Legacies are going to be decided here. Joe Burrow, former number 1 overall pick, Matt Stafford as well, a former number 1 overall pick. Neither of them have a Super Bowl up to this point. One of them will by February 13th. Awesome to talk about here. Let us know your picks in the comment section. And again, thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. Subscribe and like, leave your comments as well. Use code utility20 at manscaped.com to get some of the best products at 20% off plus free shipping. Absolutely love what they sell. A lot of really great work. Best in the men's grooming business, in my opinion. Again, thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.